If there is one weird type of visa in the Czech immigration system, that's the other type of visa. Or what I mean by weird is that there are basically no set rules about this type of visa. Basically, the whole success of the visa application depends on the mood of the particular officer who will be making the decision on that particular day, or their opinions, or just how they feel that day. And if you apply today, you might get a different result than if you apply tomorrow. But it still is a very used type of visa, because for some groups of people, let's say students, I will go through all that later, but some type of students, this is the only way of getting a visa to the Czech Republic. So it's still pretty much used, but you just need to be careful about it, and you need to know all the rules. So this is basically what I'm trying to do in today's video, to give you all the information, to walk you through the whole process, and basically tell you who is the other visa for, who is it not for, what documents you need, what you should do to increase your chances of approval, and so on and so on. So stick with me, let's go. So basically how it works with the other type of visa is that if you don't fall under any other category like employment or business or family reunification, and you still want to move to the Czech Republic, you have the chance, but you must convince the Ministry of the Interior that your reason to stay in the Czech Republic is good enough. And that might be kind of complicated, especially it depends on the case, of course. But as I mentioned before, there are no set rules. So you need to do all the work, and you need to give the ministry even more documents than they require, and you need to be prepared for the whole process. So let me now maybe give you the most common cases when we at Move to Prague Relocation Experts use this type of visa. So first, and the most popular, is for students who are coming here to study a non-accredited program. That means, for example, that you study a university like, I don't know, Anglo-American University, which doesn't have accredited programs. So you cannot get the student visa, because the student visa is only meant for accredited programs of universities. And if the university doesn't have an accredited program, you cannot apply for the student visa. So in this case, we recommend our clients using the other purpose of stay, and it usually works the same way as the student visa with some differences. I made another video about that. So if you're interested about that or in that, check it in my channel. The second thing, but that's becoming a bit more complicated now, is if you want to study Czech classes. In some cases, if the Czech classes are a preparation for university studies, if it's organized by a university, and after finishing the Czech language year, you will continue with the university studies in accredited program, then you can qualify for a student visa as well. So that would be a different process. But if you just want to come here and study the Czech language for whatever reason, then you can use the other purpose of stay or other type of visa to do that. But I will get to the details, what is important in this case later. And in the past, we've also used it, but only in very, very few cases, for unmarried couples. So if both of you are from non-EU countries. Because if one of you is an EU citizen, the other one is a non-EU citizen, you can apply for the partnership visa. I did another video about it as well, so you can go to my channel and check it. But if you're both non-EU citizens, the family reunification visa only works if you're married. But if you're just dating, you can technically try the other purpose of stay. But we've successfully seen it happen just in couple cases, especially in cases where the people were maybe older and they've been together for a very long time. They just didn't want to get married, but they could prove that they've been together for like 20 years. Okay, but I would not have high hopes in case you just started dating and you want to bring your partner here this way. So, and now, who is it not for anymore? Because there used to be some groups of people we used to use the other visa a lot for, but it doesn't work anymore with the Ministry of the Interior. So one main group was retired Americans, or generally retired people who could prove that they had high enough like income, like from the Social Security in the US, for example, and they just wanted to live here for some reason. Usually it was because they had some ancestors, like their someone was from Czechoslovakia or something. They wanted to discover their roots, but that doesn't work anymore because the ministry started saying that well, if you just want to discover the roots, you can use it. You can use the 90 days you have as a tourist, and you don't really need a visa for that, like long-term visa. So they started denying such applications, so it's no longer an option. And kind of, it's changing now for the language classes as well, because what we've experienced, I will probably go through that in a second. So I will tell you more, but for the language classes, it's getting a bit more complicated as well. You need to prove significantly why you want to study Czech language. So let's maybe get to that, because now we're getting to the point where how you can basically determine that the other type of visa is meant for you and that you have some chances. So you always need to keep in mind that the Czech Republic doesn't really give visas easily. Okay, so it's like one of the most complicated countries to get a visa for, Czech Republic. So if you want to move here, you need to convince the ministry that your reason to live here is really like viable, strong, and that it's important somehow, and that you physically need to be here, and that you cannot do the same thing somewhere else, and that you have a serious reason to do the thing of your choosing in the Czech Republic. So if we go through all the different purposes of stay, or the different situations we had moved to Prague use the other purpose of stay or other visa, then I will give you all the details there. So let's go back to the non-accredited courses. Or basically, generally, you need to convince the ministry that the purpose of your stay is strong enough, and then they sometimes, or often actually, can invite you for an interview to verify the information, get more information from you. So you need to be really, really prepared for this, and you need to invest more energy than into any other type of visa. So let's say if you want to study an unaccredited program, non-accredited program of a university, then you need to know everything. I did another video about questions they asked you during the interviews, but you just need to justify why you want to study in the Czech Republic, because usually the non-accredited courses are private universities. So that means pretty expensive universities. So you need to justify why you want to study an expensive university in the Czech Republic instead of like an expensive university in the UK or in the US, because the prices might be very close. But then why you chose the Czech Republic? So you need to be ready to answer questions like this. If you want to study the Czech language, you need to have some like end goal at the end of the course. So you could say, for example, yeah, I'm studying the Czech language course because then I want to get enrolled into a public university and study for free, because, and then you get to the why you want to study in the Czech Republic, so why you will choose that university, all that. But the first step is to prove that you do it with some purpose. So maybe you want to get into a university, or you're looking for a job and you want to get more chances, and you know that if you speak Czech, that it will give you more chances to find a job. So you always need to somehow justify what is the end game of that and why you want to speak Czech. Because honestly speaking, it's very weird if someone wants to just learn Czech because they want to learn Czech. You know, that's a pretty useless language anywhere outside of the Czech Republic, if we don't count Slovakia and maybe Poland a bit. So like there is no reason why you should learn Czech. So the ministry will always look at it this way, like, hey, why do you want to study Czech? Is it like a real reason that you want to come here, or you just want to get a Schengen visa and like then do whatever else? So that was the second thing. Unmarried couples, well, honestly, that is a long shot. But in that case, I would stick to the list of the partnership visa. So if you wanted to invite your partner to live with you, then you would need to prove like photos of you, lease agreement, travels, bank statements, sending money to each other, all these kind of things, which I list in my video about the partnership visa. I'll hopefully share it somewhere up there. So you really need to be prepared for this. And now just briefly what the documents you will need. So first thing, like it's basically the standard set with one big exception. I'll get into that right now. So application form, passport, 2 passport size photos, proof of accommodation. That's the same as for any other visa application. You need to have accommodation arranged for, let's say, a year in advance. Proof of funds. You need to show that you have enough money in your bank account. Then documents on the purpose of your stay. That's actually the most important, because that's what will determine if you will get the visa, if you convince the concrete particular officer or not. So you should invest as much energy into proving the reason of your stay, and that it's real and linked to the Czech Republic, and that it's really viable. So preparing enough documents to prove your purpose, and also be very well prepared for the interview. If you need any help with that, we'll of course be happy to help you. We can also have a power of attorney for the case, so we can communicate with the ministry on your behalf. But of course, you will need to go through the interview yourself, but we can get you prepared. We know the questions they ask and all this. So if you needed any help with that, of course, we can help. But if not, if you want to do it yourself, you just need to be prepared as much as possible, know everything about the courses, know everything about the university, know everything about your partner, all this. Then criminal check, that's needed from the country of your origin and any countries where you lived longer than 6 months in the last 3 years. You need to pay a fee at the embassy where you're applying. And once approved, you will need to get a health insurance for the full validity of the visa, which can be maximum of 1 year. So then once you have all the documents ready, you need to take them to a Czech embassy, which gets us to the point of, or to the question if you can even get an appointment. So it definitely depends on your nationality. If you're an Indian or Pakistani or now Ukrainian or now Russian, you will hardly get any appointment. So it probably makes no sense to even try. But if you're from some other countries, then it makes sense, and you can get appointments for the other visa as well. And then once you submit it to the embassy, you just wait for the decision. The ministry can, in theory, contact you and maybe invite you for the interview to find out or verify some information. And hopefully within 60 to 90 days, they should let you know the decision. But of course, you know that it's not really like that. So if you're interested in knowing more about the approval times and how long it really takes, go to the video up here, because I talk about it there in details. And yeah, once approved, you just need to collect the visa from the embassy, submit the health insurance, and you can come to the Czech Republic and do whatever you applied for. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And remember that if you have any questions, you have a couple ways of getting in touch with me. First is comment. That's free. You can comment under any of my videos, and I will try to do my best to reply everyone. But it will be just a short text answer. If you wanted to get some personalized video for you, you can also join. I don't know where I will share it, probably in the description of the video. You can join the community, and I will be able to. You will be able to ask questions. And I will record a video specifically for you in the closed community, and you will get a personalized answer directly from me. And of course, if you need any assistance with any of the processes, you can get in touch with us through the link and contact form in the description of the video, and we'll be happy to help you with the whole process.